Just finished the third one for the night, boy. I'm a goddamn dizzy. Goddamn thought is what I am.
What?
On a break, she did something.
That's cheating, I'm not gonna
But
lie.
it was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over it.
Right. At the time, I felt that it did. I was like, she's done all this stuff to me. Like, I don't give a f anymore.
This ain't just some regular breakup. It's a full-on Hollywood soap opera. We're talking a Disney darling, a rapper turned YouTuber, an influencer in the middle, and an ex who's been yelling, "Told you," from the sidelines for years. Let's set the record straight. Halle Bailey, yes, the same Halle who had us crying with "Part of Your World," is now crying for real, caught up in court drama and leaking texts that'll make your jaw drop. According to her, DDG didn't just break her heart. He shattered it, stomped on it, and passed it off to another girl like it meant nothing. That girl, Lala Baptiste.
Someone that I loved.
Oh, and how did you do that?
I cried every day
Oh.
till I stopped feeling the pain.
Oh, don't say that. Chloe.
But hold up. Here comes the wild twist. Guess who's quietly standing beside Halle now? DDG's ex, Rubi Rose. And if you've been watching their messy timeline, then you already know Rubi ain't just some bitter ex trying to stir things up. She brought receipts last year. DMs, screenshots, bruises, warnings. And still, nobody listened? Now? Her silence is screaming, and the legal documents DDG just dropped? They're backing up everything she said from the very beginning. And it gets even crazier. Rubi got history with Lala, too. We're about to break that part down soon. But let's not forget, all of this is unfolding around one little baby boy named Alo. Let's break this mess wide open, starting with the text that lit the whole thing on fire.
Boyfriend, I was dating the guy. We didn't know each other. But there's a narrative that like, oh, every guy she was with, I just...
Right.
And that, I just want to clear that narrative up.
Right.
That is not true. And just like behind the scenes, there was so many things that we did to each other. Like, it just got to a point we were always on and off. Like, we were damn near in a toxic relationship.
Halle allegedly messaged DDG on March 21st, 2024, just before midnight. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to unalive myself tonight. I hate you forever. You can have her. Let her be his mom. The text was raw, full of pain, typos, and panic. And that was just one of hundreds that DDG later used in his emergency custody filing. But that last line? It exploded online like dynamite. Because Lala Baptiste wasn't just some random girl. She was Halle's biggest insecurity. A content creator DDG had been close with, and the same girl Halle believed was behind her emotional breakdowns for over a year. Now DDG's out here claiming innocence, saying, "Just to clear the air, I've never been romantically involved with Lala, not in Mexico, not ever."
Back by saying, and she has violence issues or she has health issues.
But fans weren't buying it. Lala was in Mexico. She was on that same trip, same pool parties, same friend group, same energy. And in a relationship already drowning in jealousy and trust issues, this was the nail in the coffin. The vibes were too shady to ignore. Halle's breakdown wasn't some random outburst. It came from a pattern she felt and saw. And when Lala tried to play it cool and calm the storm, it was already too late. The internet was split. Some praying for Halle's healing, others questioning what really went down that night in Mexico. To be fair, Lala didn't come out swinging. She didn't sound defensive, just drained, maybe even hurt. She admitted Halle had reached out to her personally during that chaotic time, and yeah, they had a long heart-to-heart trying to clear things up. But here's the thing. Lala never actually confirmed or denied what Halle thought she knew. She just said she understood why Halle felt paranoid.
We have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever. Me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic.
But this wasn't just about jealousy. Halle was done. Shattered. She texted DDG saying she was crying nonstop, feeling like she couldn't keep up, drowning, and that he didn't even care. I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. You hate me. You want me to... I will because of you. Me and your son are alone. You don't care about us. You never did. DDG? He shot back with, "This literally makes no sense." Maybe to him it didn't, but to her, it made perfect sense. Because it was never just about Lala. Lala represented everything Halle feared she'd never be. Confident, calm, unbothered.
What? On a break, she did something.
That's cheating, I'm not gonna
But it
lie.
was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over.
A reflection of every insecurity Halle carried in that relationship. And let's not forget, Rubi Rose warned her. She warned everyone. Back in 2023, Rubi blasted DDG for sliding in her DMS while he was still all booed up with Halle. She even posted, "This is why I'm single." People tried to clown her, calling her bitter, messy, attention-seeking. But now, that mess is looking more like receipts. Now Rubi's old receipts, they're gold. And her recent silence, it's screaming louder than ever. Those screenshots folks clowned her for back then, they're now part of a much bigger, uglier puzzle. A custody war, a restraining order, and a baby boy stuck in the middle of a storm full of accusations. Rubi's name might not be in the court docs, but her shadow's all over them, because Rubi knew exactly what Halle was stepping into. Let's rewind.
Just finished the third one for the night, boy. I'm a goddamn dizzy. Goddamn thought is what I is.
Rubi Rose and DDG were a toxic tornado back in 2021. On again, off again, fighting online, making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And real talk? Rubi's the one who boosted DDG's image. She had the look, the fame, the industry buzz. She gave him that shine. But behind the scenes? Allegedly, she also had the bruises. In now deleted tweets, she hinted at something way darker. "He hit me, and I still stayed." Then she added, "No girl should be in love and scared at the same time."
What?
On a break, she did something.
That's cheating, I'm not gonna
But
lie.
it was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over.
She never dropped his name, but fans did the math. The bruised arm photos, the crying tweets. They lined up exactly with the timeline of their breakup. So when DDG popped out with Halle, folks were shocked. From bottle service to Disney premieres, it was a whole rebrand, like the drama never happened. But Rubi? She never stopped watching. And the moment DDG tried to act like some polished Prince Charming, she pulled the curtain back and exposed the chaos behind the fairy tale. Back in early 2023, Rubi dropped a bomb, a screenshot of DDG sliding in her DMs like nothing happened. "You still in LA?" "Yup." While he was still publicly with Halle. When she called him out, folks were quick to drag her as a clout chaser. But Rubi came with facts. And when she followed up with disgusting threats DDG allegedly sent after her tweet, the internet started switching sides real quick. One of those messages?
Make it right. At the time, I felt that it did. I was like, she's done all this stuff to me. Like, I don't give a f anymore.
I get you mad, but I'm telling you, Rubi, I'm not Lala. I'ma F your whole career up. Don't do it to yourself. That's not just petty. That's straight vile. Rubi had already lived through the cycle. Cheating, gaslighting, emotional chaos. And now, fast forward 1 year, and Halle was basically telling the same exact story. Word for word. But what made it hit harder? Rubi didn't say, "I told you so." She didn't flex. She went silent. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Because when Halle filed for a restraining order, with bruises, a chipped tooth, and text screenshots of violent arguments, it felt like déjà vu. Rubi tried to warn her, back when she was tweeting those DMS in real time. But Halle thought it was just a jealous ex trying to wreck her relationship. Now that same monster is back. But this time, there's a baby in the mix. And that's why if Rubi ever decides to speak again, it won't be to bash DDG. It'll be to stand with Halle. Not out of revenge, but survival. And trust. The plot twist that's coming next? It's about to take this from messy to Shakespearean-level disaster. Rubi and Lala? Oh, they got history too. Let's rewind to 2021. Rubi was dating Lil TJ, another rapper knee-deep in chaos. But when that relationship crashed, it crashed hard. And guess who swooped in immediately after the breakup? Lala Baptiste, who just so happened to be tight with Rubi at the time. Word on the street? Lala was already sneaking around with TJ before the split even happened. And Rubi? She didn't play nice. She called Lala a snake in a not-so-subtle tweet and unfollowed her everywhere. But here's the kicker. Lala recently admitted it. She straight up said she stole Lil Che from Rubi just to get revenge. Wild, right? Now she's out here saying, but I never messed with DDG. Maybe not. But imagine how triggering it is for Rubi to see Lala again, caught up in another scandal. This time, right in the middle of DDG and Halle's breakdown. You can't make this stuff up. Even Lala could feel the pressure. In her recent statement, she denied anything romantic with DDG and said she's done with the messy drama. Claimed she's not that girl anymore. But the internet? Oh, it never forgets. And Rubi? She never deleted those receipts. What makes this whole thing so painful to watch is the betrayal layered in every direction. Rubi tried to protect Halle. Halle didn't listen. In fact, she called Rubi the devil. And now, Rubi's name is being dragged back into the mess like a ghost that won't rest. One user tweeted it best, DDG, also Rubi Rose. We truly tried to warn Halle. It ain't her fault. But at some point, you gotta accept people for who they really are. If you saw another woman say, he hurt me, why would you think you'd be the exception? He didn't just change, he got better at hiding it. And in a twisted way, Rubi became the blueprint for everything that's happening now, like a walking prophecy. Because now, DDG is out here painting Halle as mentally unstable, paranoid, and even violent. And it's impossible not to hear echoes of Rubi's old tweets. He hit me, then cried and told me he loved me. That same script is now being read in court by Halle. The stakes? Never been higher. On May 29th, 2024, DDG walked into a Los Angeles courthouse and filed for emergency custody of his and Halle's baby boy, Halo. His claim? That Halle is unstable, unsafe, and spiraling, and that their son needs protection. And he didn't show up empty-handed. The court filing reportedly includes over 160 pages of screenshots, texts, photos, and voice notes. That's why those wild messages are out in public now. DDG's alleging Halle sent hundreds of frantic texts, threatened to harm herself and their baby, damaged his property, and even put hands on him during heated moments. He's painting her as emotionally out of control, consumed by jealousy and fear. One message reportedly read, "You flirt with every woman but me. Go back to the ones you used to chase. That's what you want. You never wanted someone like me." And just when you think it can't get messier, it does. DDG claims Halle showed up to his place uninvited and tracked his car using a Hello Kitty pet tracker. Halle didn't just send texts. DDG claims she left threatening voicemails, slashed his clothes, and even damaged his car during one explosive outburst. He told the court he was genuinely afraid, not just for himself, but for their baby boy. In his restraining order request, DDG said Halle posed an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their child based on multiple documented threats of self-harm. But that's not all. DDG also said he feared Halle might abduct Halo. According to him, She's threatened to hide or take the baby before, refused to co-parent, and used Halo as a guilt tool to manipulate him. So what did he ask for? Immediate full custody, plus supervised visits for Halle until she got psychiatric help. But here's the twist. The court didn't hand him the win. At least, not yet. They called a hearing instead. And just when DDG thought he had the last word, Halle Bailey stepped in like it was Law and Order, Mermaid Edition. On June 3rd, she clapped back hard, filing her own restraining order and requesting temporary full custody of baby Halo. But this wasn't about a PR move. This was a woman who was done. Halle came with receipts, photos of bruises, a chipped tooth, shattered phones, and holes punched into walls. No more silence. No more pretending. And then, she dropped the incident that made everyone's stomach turn. The moment that changed everything and took this case from messy breakup to real danger. According to Halle Bailey, everything snapped in early 2024. She says she caught DDG texting other women again, and when she confronted him, it exploded. Daryl was pulling my hair, then slammed my face into the steering wheel. That's how my tooth got chipped. I stopped fighting back. I was in too much pain. She says she wanted to grab baby Halo and leave, but she was trapped. Still, she stayed. She wanted to believe he loved her. She wanted Halo to grow up in a whole family. But then came another terrifying moment. Halle says DDG cornered her while she was trying to leave, with Halo in her arms. The baby was crying. She begged him to stop calling her a baba yao, but he kept escalating. I felt nervous. He was agitated. I didn't feel safe leaving Halo with him like that. She asked when he'd bring the baby back, and he wouldn't tell her. That was it. That's when Halle says she started documenting everything. Her exact words? I wasn't mentally unstable. I was scared. Period. And then there's the AirTag drama. DDG tried to twist it, make it seem like some fatal attraction situation. But Halle shut that down. Yeah, I tracked his car because he left with my baby and disappeared for hours. I didn't know where my son was. She made it clear. Any mother would have done the same. That wasn't jealousy. That was panic. That was a mother in survival mode, fighting for her safety and for her son. Now, about those texts where Halle said DDG could have full custody, she didn't dodge it. She owned it. But she also explained why. She was overwhelmed, battling postpartum depression, and completely isolated. I was manipulated, exhausted. I didn't mean it. I love my son more than anything. But this is where things turned petty and painful. DDG tried to flip the narrative, claiming he was the victim, accusing Halle of damaging his property. And Halle? She didn't deny it. What she did say is this. She snapped after he called her a crazy baram, mocked her postpartum body, and told her she wasn't sexy anymore. And let's be real, it's always the same type of dudes talking wild about women's bodies, while double-tapping every IG model in sight. It gets nastier. Halle included screenshots showing DDG texting other women while she was feeding their son. She even found lingerie in his bathroom. Not hers, left behind by one of those randoms from his comment section. The cheating? Maybe not officially confirmed? But the disrespect? That was loud enough to crash a Wi-Fi signal. And now, people are calling for the cavalry. They're asking where's Chloe? Where's Mama Bailey? Where's the village? This ain't just about Halle and DDG anymore. This is about a young mom trying to protect her peace. And folks are praying she doesn't have to fight this battle alone. The heartbreak is real. I moved on from someone I loved. How? I cried every day until I stopped feeling the pain. Don't say that, Chloe. Now fans are begging for Chloe Bailey, big sis, chart-topping baddie, and certified Beyoncé baby, to step in and say something. Because if anyone knows what Halle's really been through behind the scenes, it's her. Chloe's always been loud with her love, posting, performing, and protecting her little sister 24/7. And if this situation gets messier, don't be shocked if Mama Bailey starts posting too. A heart emoji here, a quiet, "We stand with you" there, enough to send the internet into flames. At this point, it's bigger than celeb drama. This is family warfare, and the world is watching to see who's really riding for Halle when the cameras stop rolling and the lawyers go silent. So, what did the judge say? Nothing explosive. Yet. The court denied both DDG and Halle's emergency custody requests. Instead, they told them to start co-parenting therapy. For now, Halo stays with Halle, but legally it's still joint custody. And DDG? He's not backing down. He already told the court he's stacking more evidence, allegedly including footage of Halle screaming at Halo, and claims she made disturbing threats. It's looking like when you can't win clean, you just flood the docket with chaos. Both sides claim they just want what's best for their son. But from where the rest of us are sitting, this doesn't look like parenting. This is a full-blown custody cage match, with Disney Dreams on one side and YouTube Cloud on the other. And poor baby Halo, he's caught right in the middle. Let's be real, this wasn't love. This was emotional hostage-taking, wrapped in designer diapers and fake loyalty posts. DDG didn't want a grown woman. He wanted a fan. A size 2, stay silent, say nothing fan with no voice, no opinions, no boundaries. And Halle, she wanted love. What she got was gaslighting deluxe, rapper edition. He mocked her postpartum body, pushed her to lose weight, made slick comments in interviews, and threw shade in songs, all while flexing on Instagram with captions like, "Family thirst." Now he's out here posting checkmate, like this is a game he's winning. Meanwhile, she's crying in the bathroom mirror, hiding bruises, asking herself if this is really what motherhood was supposed to feel like. And let's talk about the double standards. When a man cheats, he made a mistake. But when a woman breaks down on IG, she's crazy, unstable, unfit. DDG even dropped a song called Famous, where he whined about Halle having to kiss a man on camera, a scripted kiss for work. Meanwhile, he's out here sliding in DMs, hard-eyeing thirst traps, and texting randoms while she's in the other room, feeding their son. Nobody said a word until she started talking. Then suddenly, she's spiraling. Nah, she wasn't spiraling. She was drowning. Drowning in judgment, postpartum anxiety, betrayal, with a ring light shining on it. And we gotta talk about that power dynamic. While DDG was throwing subliminals and filing for custody like it was a brand deal, Halle was stuck doing emotional cleanup. And even when she stayed quiet, that got flipped too. Didn't respond fast enough? She was hiding something. Spoke up too late? She was playing victim. Stop dragging her for staying as long as she did. We've all stayed too long, hoping the person we first loved would come back, only to realize that version never existed. It was a facade, a filtered illusion. So now we ask, was this love? Or control with a soft voice and pretty filter? Did Rubi Rose try to warn the girl who took her place? And does DDG really want his family back? Or just to win the internet? Most importantly, who's actually protecting baby Halo? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to know what y'all think. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your 1,000 comments below. Because we're not just spilling tea anymore, we're drowning the lies. See you on the next one.